Hello, this is a new episode of Pints and Pages. I'm Nick Savini, and we are in Savini Comics, and we are getting ready to record our review of Ahsoka halfway. So season one is underway. Episode four just dropped this week, and we are going to review the first four episodes. So it's myself, it's Brad Titus, it's Levi Landis, and we are going to discuss just everything about Ahsoka this episode and get you guys to the halfway point if you already haven't watched it. And hopefully you have. That way you can kind of follow along with us. So, what do you guys think of the first four episodes?
There's a lot.
I thought
There's a lot to think.
I've thoroughly enjoyed every single episode. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt.
The episodes have been good. And I don't honestly, we had done an earlier episode of catching up with Ahsoka, kind of who is Ahsoka and all that junk. And I don't think you really needed to know. Like, I think they've done a pretty good job. Like, they haven't explained the backstory, but I mean, even Star Wars A New Hope didn't explain a backstory to a point. I mean, they kind of did, but they really didn't.
I guess a spoiler all the way at the very end. You would have to know how she relates to Anakin, I guess.
Yeah, that would be the only. Well, but they make mention of it in, like she says, because I rewatched them, and I think it's it's in the second episode. She says she left. She's like, I never got to finish my training with my master. I left Anakin just like I left Sabine.
And Skull says it too.
Yeah,
mentions it as something.
Yeah. Balin says it a few different times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good. I mean, it's been solid in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's been solid.
I think the only thing I gotta say is I need Chopper causing more mayhem.
Yeah,
I know it's to come, but I mean,
the Ghost itself hasn't been in any space battles.
That's true too. That is true. I was just really excited to see Chopper get into some shit live action. Then I was like, God damn it, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him do his little spin. I love his voice and everything. It's fantastic. I'm just being a jackass.
I thoroughly enjoy Yuang.
Yes,
Hu Yang.
I like Hu Yang.
Dr. Hu Yang.
Yeah,
because it's David Tennant.
It's David Tennant.
I love David Tennant.
I thoroughly enjoy him through
He's
the
an
episode.
Ass-kicking fucking.
He is.
Man.
He is. He really is a good droid.
Started throwing hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He is a thoroughly solid droid. That is for sure.
And I love how blunt he is with Sabine. How he's like, out of my 1,000 years of training Padawans and meeting Padawans, you have the least force capability out of all of them.
Yeah. And if you haven't watched the episode, you definitely should shut it off now. But how they've pulled through with Sabine and everything in the Force and the Balin and his apprentice, it's been really good. It's been solid.
Do you think they'll ever actually show Sabine manipulating something with the Force? Do you think they'll give her that breakthrough, or do you think they'll just hold it off as like, you need to be Mandalorian and that's how it is?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I personally thought that we were going to get the first Mandalorian in air quotes. Obviously,
or live action.
Well, I was going to say live action Mandalorian Jedi with Grogu because of Mando's cult, but we didn't. I mean, I don't know how you want to look at that.
Technically,
we do have it, but we don't. Sabine, I would like for her to actually take up that mantle, especially because she did wield the Darksaber for a small period of time, and it would just be kind of cool. I don't know if they're going to... I think they're going to kind of leave it up in the air and see how people think, and then we're going to get more from them in the movie or however they plan on going forward.
No, I think it's going to be soon. I think they're going to take her on the ship, and they're going to take her like how it ended. Like they're taking her hostage, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they're telling her they're not, but they really are.
Well,
And
I think
that
Balin
it's-
keeps his word of she's not gonna. There's no harm gonna happen to her.
But I think that they're
Unless,
not. I think they're still going to imprison her in some
Yeah.
sort of way, and I think she'll use the force to get out of it. I think that'll be. I think there will be some sort of action. Again, I hope you've watched it, because I think there will be some sort of action out of Ahsoka seeing Anakin that she'll be able to talk to Sabine on the ship. And
Well, that's
Sabine
also
will be able to do something to break free.
so. That's also what I kind of we got to see the world in between worlds live action. We got to see Anakin.
So goes back to it, you know.
Well, that's my. So he is obviously dead, and he kind of greeted her like, "Hey, you're finally here."
Yeah. Like
Did Ahsoka die? Not. I don't think so because A, it's named after her, and B, I think she's gonna jump through one of the holes like she did, like how she got pulled through one in Rebels, and she'll probably jump through one to basically jump through time
yeah.
because it's basically how the TVA sits outside of the time realm in Marvel. That's kind of what the world, what not kind of, it is what the world between worlds is, as it implies.
Yeah. It's the place in between time.
Yeah, I
it's in
don't
between time and space.
I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's dead.
I don't think she is either, but
Because I don't think Sabine, there's no way that Sabine, this has got to end with Balin and his apprentice, or
Balin
at least one of them die.
Balin has to die.
And Sabine's not strong enough to do it.
Well, the actors.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Ray
Balin.
Stevenson is dead.
Yeah, I really like his. I don't know him from anything else, but I really like him in this.
He was in Punisher Warzone.
Yeah.
You remember the Punisher movie Warzone?
No, I'm
So
honest. I know.
okay, so I got a little age on both of you. I got a lot of age on one of you.
Well, yeah, you're my
a pretty good age.
you're my fucking father.
Yeah, I got pretty good age on the other one. So Punisher, there was an original Punisher. Well,
In 2008.
the original Punisher movie was with Dolph Lundgren. And then they did a Punisher movie with Thomas Jane where John Travolta was the bad guy.
See, I don't remember this one.
And then they did a Punisher Warzone with Ray Stevenson where that was the most
Dude, I might remember.
that was the most Punisher like movie that they
Yeah,
released.
I do remember that one.
And he was solid. It was solid.
They made a sequel to that.
I don't think they made a sequel to it. They might have, but I don't think so. But he was solid in that. He's been in several. He's in Marvel too. He's one of Thor's guys.
Yeah, man.
He's one of Thor's
I
guys.
he was. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of Thor's guys. Pretty sure. Levi's looking it up on the computer, but I'm pretty sure he was in the cinematic.
He was in Thor.
He was in Thor.
2011 Thor.
Yeah, he was in Thor. He was one of the one of Thor's buddies. But anyway,
Yeah.
he has passed. So I would think Balin. I would have thought Balin died anyway, but I'm pretty sure that Balin's not going to make it through regardless. But I would have thought he would have died anyway because the bottom line is Ahsoka and Mandalorian season 4 and Skeletons, like they're all meeting together in one big movie, and the big bad for that's got to be Thrawn,
Yeah.
not Balin. So I would think that at some point Balin was going to die anyway, whether or not it was Ahsoka or Thrawn himself killing Balin. I would have thought that that's what would have happened. But I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I would think that he's going to bite the dust anyhow. That would be my opinion on the
I'm
whole
trying to
situation.
figure out how he's gonna bite the dust.
That I don't know, because he's definitely. I want to know what he is before he bites the dust,
Yeah.
because he's obviously not. He's not a Jedi, but to me, he's obviously not a Sith.
Yeah,
He's a
practices
mercenary.
Some of the ways.
Yeah,
Which he speaks of being a youngling in the temple, so we know he used to be a Jedi. I imagine he,
Yeah.
corrupted his kyber crystal, made it bleed, turned his lightsaber red,
right.
tapping into the dark side, and just uses it as a mercenary, kind of like how Darth Maul does to take over Mandalore, and not that he just became basically his own
Yeah.
self.
Yeah, I still struggle with the original.
You still want there to be the rule of two,
Yeah, I still struggle with the rule
which
of
is
two.
even something that they break in their own thing because
Well, hey, it's all right now. There's only two now because the one died, so there's only two of them now.
Marok died. Which
Right, but Morocco probably wasn't a Jedi anyway.
Well,
he was an Inquisitor. When I looked through
Yeah, if you're talking about the rule of two, there's only two left now.
Yeah, because that's also something that Rebels breaks that with the fact of the Inquisitors, Maul still being alive while Dooku's alive, while Anakin's being turned into Vader by Palpatine. It's always been broken, but it's one of those things that whoever's the Master Sith, as we've talked about in passing.
The rule of two is still with always cycling apprentices because.
So is that just Master Apprentice?
Yes.
A Master can't have two
Top
apprentices.
dog and then the underneath him, but that underneath him usually will have an apprentice, and it's either that apprentice overthrows him and becomes the secondary.
Because the top dog, which would be Palpatine, always wants his Lord Vader to be the strongest, and that's why he doesn't care that Vader kills the Inquisitors. He takes anybody out, because while Palpatine may hire or train the Inquisitors, however, he doesn't give a shit, because no matter what, his apprentice is always winning.
Right.
Because the goal would either be.
Technically, he's only got an apprentice, and then Vader can have an apprentice, and then Vader's apprentice can have an apprentice.
Which is what.
And it's technically always a rule of two, because there's always a master and there's always an apprentice. It's just like a long line. Okay, I can buy into that. It's all.
Which is why a lot of people thought Marok was Starkiller, because of him being voiced by the same person, which that guy has voiced many of people in Star Wars, so that's not really
basically the rank of Lord and Emperor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can buy into that. Yeah, Emperor Palpatine. That's why Dooku was a count.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was part of the separatist movement.
Dooku was more of a separatist than he was a Sith.
He had his own shit going.
Yeah. Which you have said before that you thought maybe Balin might be a separatist.
That's kind of.
And not a Sith.
I was going to say, he reminds me a lot of just Dooku.
He reminds me of Dooku for
Morgan
sure.
Elsbeth was a separatist because she produced droids.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's it. So she was a separatist.
Which I love that Dave Filoni brought the HK droids from the Old Republic.
Yeah.
He loves to take legend stuff and actually make it canon, and I love it.
I mean, it's all. And then you look at Mando when they were the Jack Black Lizzo episode. It was all about droids, man. And separate.
And what?
Everything's going to fucking culminate to Separatists bringing back Thrawn. It's not going to be Thrawn in the Empire. I bet you it's Thrawn in the Separatists.
You think?
First Order's going to be in.
Yeah, but we've seen.
That's interesting.
We've seen.
You got Hux and Mando, so the First Order's going to shoot off of Hux. When that whole fucking council of people splits in two, you're going to get Hux and you're going to get Separatists with droids. And Gideon's a fucking Separatist with his goddamn droids. And then you got Hux, who's pushing the First Order, like, enlistment process. And then he passes it on to his son, who furthers it and becomes fucking a general, and he's
And then backstab
yeah.
her.
That's how they're gonna. That's how they're gonna tie in. There's gonna be an interfeudal thing with our antagonists, and like
I
that's
can
my
see
prediction,
that.
my opinion and prediction. But like, you got this is all gonna cycle back to that. But right now, we're looking at more droids. So many more droids. It's got to be separatists. Like everybody else is giving up on droids, but those guys.
Yeah, I mean it could definitely go that direction. It could definitely head that way. The back to the 4 episodes that have been on, um, I was thoroughly impressed by the space, like the fighter pilot.
Oh
scenes.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I really
the
enjoyed those.
dogfight
Like,
scenes, like
because I mean, honestly, I don't have a big prediction for what's going on, so I'm gonna shy away from that. I really just don't. I wish I did. I don't. I'm more interested in what's going to happen instead of having like an opinion, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, I'd love to have one. I just don't usually have one. Usually
Yeah.
I have one that's obnoxious and nobody wants to hear it.
Normally,
But
I like your opinions.
yeah, so but like I really just don't have one. I do think Ahsoka's gonna come back. I don't think she's dead.
Yeah.
I do think she's gonna come back. I think that I think Sabine will get her powers sort of. I think it'll help her escape whatever conundrum she puts herself in. I think Balin's an interesting character because I think it could go either way. He could end up being a real just badass, or
Think he's
like
gonna be a teddy bear.
I could see him ended up being a teddy bear at the end, and like his apprentice stepping over the line and him taking her out and trying to recruit Sabine. I could see that, but I mean, honestly,
I
I'm
could
not
definitely
sure.
see that, especially with the fourth episode where she started force choking Sabine and wasn't letting go.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
I thought that was kind of foreshadowing. The thing that confuses me, not really confuses me. The thing that I guess I'm just like I'm trying to wrap my head around is I know that Mandalorian season 4 and Ahsoka are gonna kind of tie in to each other. I think.
There's a movie coming out.
Right. I think that that's the direction they're headed, but I don't know other than Grogu and Mando heading out into the universe to have their own adventures. I don't know where season 4 is going to go.
I think the key is when it comes to Mando, and this might sound like a stretch and I might sound dumb, is that X-Wing pilot that went with Hera. Because he's from Mando.
I could
That's
definitely.
also, I think, how Zeb, because Zeb's nowhere to be seen so far. This is supposed to be Rebel season
Mhm.
5. Where's Zeb? We know where Ezra's at. Kanan's dead. There's the whole cast.
Who's Zeb?
Zeb is the Lasat. He's the big purple
Yeah.
guy that we saw
okay.
for,
All right.
was
Gotcha.
for like a
Gotcha.
scene.
It was the he's based off the Ralph McQuarrie original concept for a Wookiee.
Yeah.
Changed
Yeah.
completely.
I remember you saying that. Okay. All right. So
So I think that's also how we're going to get Zeb into this. But I don't know how you would get Zeb in there, as the last time we saw him was Mando. If, to get Zeb into Ahsoka without then also putting Mando into Ahsoka right away.
I think he'll hear word that Hera's in trouble.
So here's an interesting thought, and here's an interesting theory. Hearing you guys talk. Bonus Pints is a craft beer and wine spin on the classic arcade, located at 422 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport. Bonus Pints is the anchor of the Bonus Building on the corner of Broadway and 5th Street. They have all your favorite classic arcade games and both classic and current pinball machines. Every Wednesday is trivia, and every Thursday and Friday there is live music. Come and bring your friends. The food, the music, the games, and the people. There is something for everyone at Bonus Pints. So, do you think that the remainder of Ahsoka is going to take place in two different universes,
Galaxies.
No,
galaxies?
no.
Do you,
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 2 episodes max, and they're coming right back.
well, do you think that so they jumped, right?
Yeah,
So they jumped, and then so you got Sabine and
yeah.
you
But
got
Morgan Elsbeth's back in Mando. Mando, the episode she's in Mando where Ahsoka runs into her is after all the entire bit of Ahsoka happens.
so Ahsoka takes place
It's in between season 2 and 3, isn't it?
Isn't it?
2 and
Yeah.
3?
Of Mando, I believe.
Really?
I can try to look up an exact
Yeah,
timeline.
Grogu trains with her after.
It's not in between 3 and 4?
I'm pretty sure by the time she meets Grogu, Thrawn's gone. But
You
I
think
might be
Thrawn's
wrong.
gone?
I might have a-
No, because in
I
the
might-
newest season there was talks of Thrawn.
I would think that Thrawn would be the big bad.
Wasn't it in the newest season of Mando?
I might
It
have
was
my
the
timeline.
council of all of
I think I might have
all of
something
the
wrong.
different sectors of it was all the different sectors of the
Yes.
Empire. Moff Gideon was like they were all talking about where is Thrawn. We keep hearing about Thrawn.
Yeah.
Where is Thrawn?
Never mind.
And that's why we were all getting hyped because Ahsoka is going to tell us where Thrawn's been. I do think that it's not going to be the remainder of the season. I think probably on the third episode, like what would be that? The 7th episode. I think that's when they're going to come back.
So
I think because I think Disney wants to.
do you think Mando's in the last episode of Ahsoka?
No, I think he's going to be in it sooner than last episode.
You think he's going to be in 7?
I'm about guarantee it probably.
Well, because my thought is so they jump, right? So they jump.
So real quickly, Ahsoka takes place between 9 and 11 ABY, sometime after the events of The Mandalorian Season 2, 9 ABY, and in close proximity to The Mandalorian Season 3, 11 ABY.
This is like overlapping right to a T though.
Yeah, so it takes basically season 2 of Mando happens, and then sometime in between season 2 and 3, all of this is happening in Ahsoka. So I don't think Mando's going to show up in it because of the fact there was no mention of him really doing anything with Ahsoka
The
in
last
season
thing he
3.
did was talk to the guy who's right now with
Hera. So that's what I mean.
Was that at the end of season 2 or end of season 3?
He's only going to do good missions. So
it was at the end of season 3.
But this is taking place before that. So what I'm getting at is if in season 3 there's no mention of him working with Ahsoka before, like in between season 2 and 3, and we see Ahsoka for one episode?
So what if Ahsoka and season 3 are running together?
Yeah, that's what I think's happening.
What if they're running together?
According to this, no, that's not how it is. But that obviously, I pulled up one website right now.
So if they're running together, so I'll go ahead and throw a theory. I said I wasn't gonna, but I'm gonna. So they jumped, and Morgan and Balin and Sabine and the Apprentice are all in the one galaxy. Hera and the guy from the Mando are trying to figure out how to get to that galaxy they call Mando into hell to get there.
Why would
Season 4 of Mando, like that's the end of Ahsoka, and season 4 of Mando is him helping them get to the other galaxy somehow. And then it leads right into the movie, and the movie is them actually meeting up.
Why would they contact, like Mando's had to go to a basically junker on Tatooine to get his ship fixed and get.
Maybe they go to Mando because they think the only Jedi that can find them all is Grogu.
he already communicated. He used Tython to communicate across the entire fucking galaxy for all Jedi.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, you do.
What if like Ahsoka
also,
comes back and
You gotta
Ahsoka
think
is
they'll
like,
go
listen,
into the Mando.
yeah, what if Ahsoka comes back and she's like
But
the
also,
the only the only Jedi I know that we might be able to channel the energy into finding Ezra is Grogu. And they go find Grogu.
my only question is
Good.
then,
That's-
unless they go right back to where they were in season 2 of Mando, or whatever that thing you called that Grogu used, unless they go back to use that again.
It's the planet. It was the planet.
Okay.
Tython.
Unless they go back to Tython and use that stone where he was at
Yeah,
again.
that's where he met up with Boba Fett. That's where
Yeah,
Boba Fett
right,
shot
right.
I don't see how I mean, I get the theory. I'm not trying to discard it completely. I'm just trying to see how Mando's going to get squeezed into this one too.
Discard the shit out of it. I'm telling you.
It'll just
Disney loves.
I know
Disney loves Papa Pedro.
Yo,
I love Daddy Pedro too.
hey,
But I'm just tired of them. If they would just squeeze Daddy Pedro in there, and I know you can't do it without the other one. I love Grogu to death, but he took off on Facebook, and then I had to see him everywhere for the rest of eternity, and it makes me want to blow my fucking
I
brains
dressed
out.
up as him for Halloween one year.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I made a laundry basket that was like his carrier. And I did the classic, like the old school fucking where your head's like the face, and then I made a little puppet body. So I could walk around and work.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
That is the
Yeah,
best.
it was so thrown together. It was like a fucking evening thrown together.
That's an that's a way to bring Mando into it. Because he does offshoot and say that they got to live their own adventures. And it just kind of, I mean, that is a direction I could see them going.
Well, see,
It is definitely a direction I could see them going, whether or not they do it or not.
Ahsoka knows him.
Right, right. Ahsoka's got a relationship.
Mando.
Right.
Bo-Katan
Well-
knows Sabine, and like all I'm saying is you got Ahsoka and a Mando. That's a Jedi and a Mando, and then you got Grogu and a Mando. That's a Jedi and a Mando. It's a,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's got, I could see it. I
get
could,
a full house because then Boba Fett comes in. There's another man. You got 3 Mandos, 2 Jedi's, full house.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know that they bring Boba Fett in.
Boba Fett's going to be there for the movie, I'm pretty sure.
Uh,
I know.
I could see Bo Katan before I could see.
Well, Bo-Katan will be there too. I imagine, unless she dies.
Good.
But
I could see her dying for sure.
I think, if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong, I thought Tamora Morrison got
There's a
signed to do something for.
He's Captain Rex. Captain
Yeah,
Rex.
well, he's all the clones.
Well, no, he's live action Captain Rex
Yeah.
already. So we still haven't seen Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Is I'm pretty sure he got signed for Ahsoka.
We get a live action Rex. I forgot all about it.
How are we going to get a live action Rex?
She's in the World in Between Worlds. So if you would have watched fucking Rebels, you would have seen.
Who's to say it's not going to happen when he's still alive and regular?
I mean, that could happen too. I'm just giving
it could be.
I'm just giving an easy explanation because we see Clone Wars Anakin right there.
I mean, that is a good way to see him. Don't get me wrong.
But I could see them just doing it through a flash like that.
I mean, the way they.
I mean, I would like to see a full action, like in current time, Rex. Don't get me wrong, that would be beautiful. I love Rex as a character, and then I love Tamora Morrison.
Right.
Surprisingly, that's an actor I can remember the name of, but I can't remember anything else.
You really can't do anything else. You are going to have to, at some point, watch all these 80s movies.
Oh, yeah, like Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, Goonies, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
At least you watch Clue.
Anything at all with Patrick Swayze.
Well, yeah, you pirated Clue, and me and Dakota watched that, I think, for a month straight every single night. Because we did that with basically almost anything that you got.
Have you seen Roadhouse?
Roadhouse. It's been forever since I've seen Roadhouse.
I know you wanted to talk about Morocco.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
How's everyone's theories feeling after?
oh yeah. So
Wonder how
definitely-
I'm feeling now.
he was definitely a creation of some kind of
Which
Morgan Elspeth
I think he
because of
was
the
a
green.
zombie. I think he was a zombie of that Inquisitor that died on that. Was it Dathomir? No. Is it? Yeah,
Dathomir.
Yeah. What's it? Helicopter dude fell to his death.
Yeah.
I think it was just a resurrected, zombified him.
See, I really wanted it to be a resurrected Kanan, like his body. Obviously, I didn't want the.
Wise, it made sense.
Yeah.
He was long and lanky, and
And the way he held his lightsaber, I saw someone put a picture up of the way Kanan did in one of the scenes when he just had it single, not double sided.
and they showed him as blue. Who knows? He may have been the resurrected corpse of somebody that may be revealed. But as we see it right now, he was a zombified bag of fucking gray dust.
I think he was nothing.
Yeah,
I think he was nothing.
and I am so happy.
He was a side character.
hope he's
I'm-
nothing.
I am glad that my Kanan theory was wrong because I really kept yelling with all of the Star Killer theory, the Ezra theory. He's nobody. He's no. I thought the Kanan one was the closest one, but
It was so nice that he
This is
wasn't.
what I want.
I mean,
he didn't have to be anything.
they put masks on people and everybody wants to say who they are. It was so nice that he just wasn't anything.
I agree with that completely.
Dude,
It was nice that he just wasn't
used to
anything.
be Boba Fett. It was nice when Boba Fett was,
It was just nothing. He
But
was just
still,
nothing.
like there's
He's just a
been
guy.
life brought to it. But yeah, the whole enigma of Boba Fett. At one point, it was that nobody knew who the fuck he was or what. We just know what he looked like, and then he was like
That's Boba Fett.
nodded
Yeah.
you to death.
Yeah.
All I had to do is nod at you, and
Yeah.
you were gonna die.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
we brought
he's
up
still gonna
Morgan
do that.
Elspeth
Yeah,
and the Night Sisters. With her being one, it kind of throws me off that they didn't put white paint on her face because they all have like white paint with the black.
they technically the Night Sisters. While it translated to look like that in the like animated series
And
they
in
were
the
tattoos.
game.
They were tattoos.
Oh, those are tattoos. Okay.
Even when it was portrayed as what it's a type of just the same as kind of like I think Ahsoka is tattoos. I don't think it's.
I think Ahsoka's is. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Orange skin is
I
No,
think
the-
her skin would naturally be orange. That's like Maul. Maul, their race and Savage's race has a kind of almost a natural tan flesh color tone to their thing.
No, okay.
What they have going on is tattoos in a similar tribal fashion. So there's lots of species of aliens that have those tribal tattoos in different colors.
No.
With that design.
Yeah, I don't even know why I realized
They're
Mauls.
Samoans.
Twi'leks
Yeah,
Yeah, they're Samoans.
And I don't even know why I realized Mauls were tattoos. I don't know why I thought that like the witches were.
Well, and
That's just my own
Maul's-
stupidity.
I think the red color of Maul's skin was a reflection of his corruption to the dark side, while Savage Opress was a little more yellow tinged because he wasn't quite as fully trained.
But they show a flashback to, I'm pretty sure, Maul being born and he was red.
Well, I guess there's there's some other like camps
There's also,
that conflict with.
I was gonna say that's something I don't think they.
Zabrak is like brown because Eth Koth was a Zabrak Jedi, and he
Yeah.
just looks like a tan Hawaiian dude with.
I was gonna say I don't think that's something, at least to my knowledge, they ever really addressed of why like Savage was
Yeah,
tannish and Maul was just straight red.
yeah,
I don't know if they ever.
but yeah. Either way, the black on him was tattoos.
Okay, I didn't know that because when I first saw Morgan Elspeth in this, and I don't know why it was in this that I thought about it, but I was like, should her face be white? But that makes more sense.
Oh, like a real super pale.
Oh yeah, that is also what I was
I
on.
think that was just
Yeah.
the art direction in a way to bring it to live action without like painting people's faces white.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
painting an ethnic person's face white, it's not a good thing for right.
My brain didn't think about that.
Yeah, we got to.
They do that a lot when they go from cartoon to live action. I mean, they take
Well,
away
and-
the paint
And she brings
the
colors.
colors.
She brings a real nice elegance, but there's an arrogance, and you can see where she's gonna
There's
have
facial expressions
oversight.
you can't get when
Yeah.
you're full face painted.
Got
Yeah.
no eyebrows and all that.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, it would be really cool to see Sanji and like some of those other Night Sisters in a live action, but I don't think it's needed. Having a new one that's
Yeah.
like got some weird kind of back alley mentions here and there. Some I'm pretty sure her character name's been mentioned elsewhere, but nothing's ever been developed of her.
Yeah.
Just like something to build on.
Right. Right.
I really like the imagery they're using with this. Like, I don't know if either you two caught her or if it's just my thought process, but when they did the overhead shot with Balin and Ahsoka, how Balin's in all this dark clothing as a dot with the light side, almost like a yin and yang, and there's
Right.
Ahsoka there with light and all the
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
That we talked about outside the feudal Japan Bushido, like with the duel with Marok and Ahsoka, which that's something I was curious about of if any of you two have saw talk about it online, because I also thought about it. The first time she faces Marok, when it's just Marok, she uses both of her sabers. With this, when it was just her dueling Marok, and then with Balin also, though, she only used one.
Space grip, just like a samurai would hold his.
But her more traditional, her best fighting style is with two, and we know she had the second one on her. I just
Wagasashi or something. That's a shorter blade. But
I noticed it and I wondered the same thing. Why she wasn't using
I don't know. My brain just went to directive style choice to keep the feudal Japan feel of it with the, like you said, the traditional
it
hold.
was more for.
But to me, it just didn't make sense for her not to use the second one. I think you're right with that. I just don't like it.
Well, it depends.
I thought it looked really nice, but I don't think it. I don't like
If you're a strategist and you have multiple forms that you can operate from to counter your foe, it's more of like she put some thought into why she fought like that. She fought like that because it was the easiest way to counter it and deal with it.
it. Didn't fucking work too well.
That we know. She ended up in the world between worlds talking to her old homies.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Seemed to not be mad about anything.
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I seem to be in good spirits.
It's
let's see where's this going?
I figured there had to have been a reason why she didn't use two. I didn't know if it was because she knew that Balin maybe had one up on her if she tried to use two. But I mean, she deliberately didn't use a second one.
Well,
I mean,
he's a strength based attack. He's got a brute force attack approach. So like maybe, she two hands on one blade is stronger than trying to block his big ass blows.
that could be too.
Each.
That could
And
be
I'm
too.
like,
Or she wanted the other hand open for the force.
I think it was a lot of imagery and just tactful decision making on someone who can adapt to how.
Because she did use that other hand for the force a lot.
Yeah.
Open rocks and having things open and things like that. And even when she was fighting Marak the second time, she didn't use the second saber. And it almost seemed like she didn't because he had a double-sided.
Yeah.
So it was like she just decided to not fight two with two. I mean, and it worked for her that at that point. And so, yeah. It was definitely a different. It was weird seeing her fight with two and then seeing her go to one. And also, it almost seems like two is more defensive, and one is more offensive.
Which also
Because when the
striking.
when the droids all attacked her, like when she went to save Huang, when the droids all came in, she used two, but it was because she was like blocking with one and attacking with the other.
I
Yeah.
thought this
I
one
was
she
just
did was cool, and Sabine, used her grapple to pull her little whipcord, pull it in the droid, and then she flung her saber as it
Yeah.
came flying by.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool.
I was gonna say it also. I guess it could have. Granted, with her beating Marok doesn't show, but you bring up the offensive and defensive thing. It kind of shows her not. I mean, she's tactful and she's thinking, but she's made a point before that uh, anger and fear and that lead to power. But I can't remember the exact wording, but basically it's quick to let you fall. And she reacted really quickly to the apprentice showing up,
Right.
and thinking Sabine's dead. She went
Right.
full aggro on him. Not full aggro, she was a
Right.
little tactful, but I thought of it immediately.
Offensive.
Yeah, she, as soon as it started, because Balin's just standing there, just trying to keep him between her and the map, and she just kept hammering at him repeatedly. Towards the end, she got to the point where she was like, "Oh shit, I can get over here and grab it." But at the beginning, she was just full attacking at him,
Well, and whatever it must have been,
and it's the emotion taking over.
is I don't know what it did to her hand, but that
It
Yeah,
like burned her.
yeah,
Because you can see a little bit of that flame. Because
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
first puts it in before, because I was rewatching him before the Night Sister gets there the first time, you see a little bit of a green flame.
it definitely burned her. Definitely. The space fights, which I brought up earlier, but
Yeah.
we didn't get to finish. They were incredible. The space fight scenes were incredible.
They were really good. I enjoyed.
The first time ever that they've let a Star Wars character get onto a ship and fight, which I thought was just
with the spacesuit.
very well done,
Yes.
and it surprised me that she was in a spacesuit.
Yeah,
It really did. It really did.
I've
But
seen
it was very well done.
Vegeta. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was very, very well done. Very well done. But yeah, I was shocked to see her in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
I just figured she'd jump out there and have no issue, but
Yeah,
they put her in a suit and everything. So
Give it the old Leia
that's
floating through space for
Oh,
to freeze slowly.
yeah.
Now she's just like doing flips.
Yeah, the fight scenes, the chases, it was all very, very
I
well done.
enjoyed because I
Yeah.
just resaw it when actually basically right before I got here was the scene with Sabine and Ahsoka where they're flying through and Sabine's in the tail gun. I really enjoyed
Oh,
actually getting to hear the communication between them and seeing
Yeah.
them and Sabine shoot them down and shit like that. Because normally you just see them, they jump into the seat. You see a shot of them kind of spin around with the gun. You see them shoot a couple down. As they kind of recreate with Sabine the whole, I got one.
yeah.
And then you see the fucking ship do a couple barrel rolls, and that's all you get. And we actually got to see a little more in depth of it, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and the droid telling them to work together.
Yes. And
Yeah.
as soon as I heard that and saw them split up, I was like, well, we know something bad about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, him telling them to work together. Hey, listen, this is what you guys got to do. He really is kind of both of their caretakers.
He's basically
he's
both of their masters.
He's C-3PO and R2-D2 together. I mean, basically.
He gives them the attitude with the knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
K2SO with a little less attitude.
yeah.
A
Yeah.
little more polite.
I told him outside I found it hilarious the fact of how blunt he is with Sabine, where he's like, my 1,000 years of teaching Padawans,
Yeah.
I've never met, or all of them would surpass you in the ability to use the Force.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. The droids have been good. The droids have been good.
I always, though, tend to love the droids in Star Wars. I think they always do really well with that.
That's what I mean. I think we're looking at some weird stuff in this thing.
You think?
I'm really curious because they also made mention to it early on, and obviously I don't know how much we're going to see of him. Do you think we're going to see Jason use the Force at all? I know he's still young, but he had Kanan as a father.
I don't know what predictions to
Who's Jason?
It is Hera Syndulla.
Oh,
It's her and Kanan's son.
okay.
All I know is Bad Batch, Clone Wars, all of it.
I have not seen Bad Batch.
All they did was fight clankers. And like that's all Filoni. Like we're gonna get some separate. For some reason I feel like there's a separatist.
God damn it, that wasn't even a part of my question.
Sorry. What was your question?
I asked you. They made mention of it early on. Do you think Jason's going to use the Force at all?
No, I don't think we're going to get much out of him. I think he will be a hostage target or a danger target. Something's danger,
Has he used the Force in the past?
This is the first time we're seeing him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they make mention early on, the first time we see Jason and Chopper, he makes mention, hey, Chopper says I'm going to become a Jedi. And she's like, he says, I hear I'm going to become a Jedi. And she's like, where'd you hear that? And he's like, oh, Chopper told me. She's like, yeah, I know you want to be one, blah, blah. And they make a little mention and then continue on with the show. So obviously they're setting up for Jason to be a Jedi at some point, I'm guessing. I just don't know if we'll see.
Might be with Rey.
Yeah,
might be.
Yeah, we might see him with Rey.
Might have killed him.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about.
You got to realize Grogu. Lots of these dudes might have died to Ben.
Yeah, I don't think. I always forget that.
Oh, yeah.
The Knights of Ren.
Yeah. You got to remember that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Remember Rogue One where everybody died because they did already for years?
Yeah.
I still remember when that came out and people were pissed that they all died, and I was like, "Hey, dumb fucks."
Yeah.
I said that in the beginning, like at the theater. It's like, hey, spoiler, they all died. And it's like, oh man, what? It's like, did you even watch them?
They literally say it in the opening.
Yeah.
A lot of people had to die to get these plans. They're showing you everybody that had to fucking die.
They're showing you everything. Here's the movie where everybody dies. Yeah.
Which I remember at first when we saw that, I know kind of a side tangent, but when we first saw that, my brain was like, oh, what the fuck? That's a way to end it. And then obviously it rolls to them fucking the scene that leads into A New Hope.
Yeah.
It's like,
I remember seeing that with Mo. I remember seeing that and then going to work and everybody's like, man, what'd you think of Rogue One? I was like, yeah, it's pretty solid. Actually, one of my favorites. And they're like, man, I didn't care for it much at all. Everybody died at the end. And I was like, have you seen episode 4? Well, yeah. And I was like, do you remember any of those motherfuckers from episode 4? No. It's because they all died in Rogue One. That's why. Oh. Well, did they have to kill them all? Yeah, no, they had to kill them all. They really did. They really did.
The whole fucking planet.
Yeah, they really did. So yeah, I mean the way Ahsoka's been going, it's definitely a show that I think is going to be like remembered. Like, so Mando season 1. Not that all the Mando's had 3 seasons.
season 1's the most memorable.
I think season 1 and season 3. 2 is the one that kind of lollygags for me. And even though that was the one with Ahsoka in it, I think 1 and 3 are the solid Mando seasons.
I fucking love it all.
But I mean, they're all
I love
pretty
them all
good.
too, but it's just
Book of Boba Fett, I thought was a reach.
Boy, so Book of Boba Fett should have been a movie. A, you can tell by all the drop side plots.
It should have been a movie.
And B, all it was Mando season 2.5, and it pisses me the fuck off. We got 2 whole episodes. One where Boba didn't even show up in it, and the other one where he shows up for I think it's a total of 6 minutes, and he doesn't speak a fucking word.
Yeah,
it's not Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's not my favorite. It was kind of a throw together.
It was bullshit.
I fucking love Cobb Vanth.
But yeah,
they're so...
Oh yeah, no, he's fantastic. He's fantastic.
There was just so much more they
I
could have
love
done.
the Tuskens. I love there was
There
lots. Also, hold on, robot fucking separatist dreams. Oh my god! Up at the end, big ass points that was on the battle in Naboo. And why are they there? Because of separatists.
Located at 430 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport, on the bonus level, the second floor of Bonus Pints is the Lantern. The Lantern is a glowing light in a small town. They are a shop filled with art, clothing, books, and all your current Halloween needs. They are currently carrying cat skull candles, black cat drinking glasses, Halloween themed dresses and shirts, and some 3D horror decor that will scratch your Halloween itch. Check out their Facebook page for when they are open and what new items they are stocking daily. It's almost like this was the one they could have. Book of Boba Fett was one they could have called just a Star Wars story. They didn't need to call it Book of Boba Fett.
Yo, here's some Boba Fett.
I think
It's like
Boba Fett was them trying to cash on Boba Fett's name, and it should, like you said, a Star Wars story.
yeah,
And it suffers from the same thing Obi-Wan did. It should have, if you were going to make a movie, or if you were going to make something after a character, you should have made it a movie. Obi-Wan, I think, was too dragged out, and they've also admitted it was supposed to originally be a movie.
Here's the problem I have with Obi-Wan.
I know we're getting sidetracked.
Here's the problem with Obi-Wan. Well, we've kind of beat Ahsoka to death, so we'll go back to it. But
not as much as
here's my problem with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I fucking loved it. I loved every second of it. It didn't matter. It was not a show that needed to be done.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it.
Watching
I loved
it.
every minute of it.
I loved watching it and going through it, but by the end of it, I was like, longer than it should have been.
I at no point, it could have been another 4 episodes for me.
I think
at no point did I have too much of it.
I just think it was too short to fully flesh out, I think it was too short to fully flesh out Reva. I think it was too short to fully flesh out the child Leia. I think they tried to cram a lot into 6 episodes, and if they would have either A, made it longer, or B, cut out some of the side shit and just made it a movie, it would have been better. I enjoyed watching it. I just think that it suffers from that shitty in-between where it was just kind of a little too long to be a movie, a little too short for a TV show. Because I think 6 episodes is garbage for a TV show, especially if you're only doing 1 season.
I wish they would have done 8, but as far as TV shows go, the difference,
especially on all the Disney Plus ones,
the difference between that and Book of Boba Fett is light years.
I will not argue that at all.
Light years.
I will not argue that at all.
The Obi-Wan, if I was gonna have one gripe about the Obi-Wan, the one thing that I think they didn't take into any consideration, and you see the memes everywhere, and that is that Ewan McGregor at 60 does not look like Alec Guinness at 60. They just don't. They don't jive. They don't jive. It's like Alec Guinness looks 50 years older than Ewan McGregor, even though there's only 10 years of difference in the age. And it's like everybody makes fun of it, but really, they're really not that far, I don't think, in age.
I know that
from when they played each other, but look, and I'll use this as an example, and none of our listeners are going to get it. I don't even know if you two are going to get it, but the 3 girls, the 3 ladies from Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Blanche, Rose and Dorothy.
Don't
right?
forget
Oh,
that
yeah.
I have.
Were the
The
same
mother-
exact age.
Mother was younger than the lady. that
Right,
played-
but right,
What's
right,
her name?
Estelle Getty.
yeah.
So the three girls, Blanche, Rose, and Dorothy. Now picture the Golden Girls, right?
Mhm.
So those three women were the same exact age as the three women that played in the new Sex in the City,
Oh, yeah, I don't know that.
Sex in the City show. Sarah Jessica Parker, the redhead, and Kristen Davis. I don't know the redhead's name. So those three women
Yeah.
are all in their mid 50s, which is the same age as the three Golden Girls. So those three Golden Girls, even though
It's the same show.
but they look 20 years old. And I think that's what you get with Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor. They're really not that far away in age, but the difference in what 60 looked like in 1975 and what 60 looks like in 2023 is completely different. And it skews what we think we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to look at. So I think that's why people get hung up on Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness going, holy shit, this guy is like, this is 20 years difference. He looks 50 years older. Well, he's really not, but it's
It's
thought just the perception.
is a shit planet to live on.
That could be it too. Living in a cave didn't do you much good either.
You've been sipping on secretion.
Yeah, living in a cave doesn't do much good either. So, but yeah, I mean, I know this is totally off topic of Ahsoka, but I mean,
It goes along.
it goes
Because
it goes away.
Ahsoka knew Obi-Wan. And people are gonna fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
She knows Luke.
Well,
She knows Luke.
right,
We know for a fact she does.
right, and I mean, they all just go together so tightly. All the Star Wars stuff, and they're going to continue to go together. And it's just it meshes. It meshes, and I hope that I don't think they've done anything wrong with Ahsoka at all.
Oh,
Nothing wrong with Ahsoka at all in these first 4 episodes. And I don't think they're going to fuck it up in the next 4 episodes. I think it's going to be solid. I think it's going to be good. It could go in several different directions. But I think it'll be good. And I think it'll lead us right into Mando 4. And then that'll lead us right into the big movie with everybody. I mean, that's what I think. Skeletons is in there somewhere, right? Skeleton Crew. Is Skeleton Crew part of this whole universe? Because there's a TV show called Star Wars Skeleton Crew, right?
It's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, but I think it's part
about it.
I think it's part of this, but I don't know anything.
I was just saying I don't know anything about it either.
So all right. So we just figured out another podcast where we gotta figure out. I don't know when it comes out, but I think it has something to do with all of this. I thought.
I just know Sabine don't wear a damn helmet enough.
She does
Always
not.
Off, and
She
I
does
think
not.
it's lost on that planet now.
But I can tell you this: if you want a Sabine helmet, Savini Comics has some.
Yeah.
Okay, Skeleton Crew. So Levi's got Skeleton
scheduled to be
Crew.
released on Disney Plus in 2023 and will consist of 8 episodes. White expected the series to be released in November or December 2023.
What's it about?
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
That was the next thing.
All right.
Plot specifics are still unknown, but the synopsis released by Disney and Lucasfilm says the story follows a group of daring children who go on an adventure which ends up being more than they can handle. At some point, they get lost in deep space and can't find their way home. So I'm gonna assume it. Huh?
Jason.
You think it's Jason?
Probably. If it's kids lost in space.
Do you think Jason's gonna get lost? Do you think it's gonna happen in Ahsoka? Oh,
Probably a chopper with them. That'd be skeleton. It'd be chopper and the kids.
Could be. It could
My
be.
guess.
That could be how they pull Mando in too. I mean, the kid
Yeah,
lost.
for the kids, Daddy Mando.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it all pulled together. But I knew Skeleton Crew had something to do with this.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I really think it does. I really think it does.
They ain't really given much.
Now, who's Kanan?
Kanan, if you remember, is a part of the Ghost crew that died in Rebels. He is the one that was training Ezra. He was a part of Order 66, and his master died during it, and he escaped.
But he died in.
He died
He
in
died in
Rebels.
Rebels.
He
Okay.
turned
Who
in.
killed him?
Oh,
He died.
Dead
So-
silence.
No,
folks.
no, no.
Dead silence.
I remember. So he died saving them, which is why Hera felt a really bad guilt for it because they were trying to steal. They were trying to either steal or disrupt the fuel supply on Lothal to fuck with the Empire, and one of their generals that was stationed there gave the executive order to shoot at the fuel supply to try to kill him. And so Kanan, using the Force, stopped the explosion, gave the rest of the Ghost crew time to escape, and then once they were out of range, he let it consume him, and he died. And he essentially now, as far as we're concerned, has taken up his spirit has kind of taken up the role of one of the Loth Wolves that we saw in the series because it kept calling out to Doom, which is Kanan's real name is Caleb Doom. He went by Kanan Jarrus after Order 66, so that way the Empire had a harder time to find him.
harder time finding.
And he is the one who is the father, with Hera being the mother to Jason.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. And I'll say it so that nobody else has to. You know, Hera may be green, she may have those weird tones, but she's still kind of hot.
The only thing, and I think my brother-in-law is the only one that's complained about it, is they purposely put blue contacts in her because the actress doesn't have blue eyes. And
I think they should have
there's
just left her eyes.
well, if they were gonna fuck with the eyes, her eyes are supposed to be green like her skin. But he's the only person I've heard bring that up, and I don't give a fuck.
I think
I'm not paying attention to that, so it doesn't matter. Not worried. Not worried. I care less.
I could
Care less. Care less.
I mean, Twi'leks are the hottest alien.
Care less. Mary, what's her name? Mary something.
Merry and Pippin.
Mary Elsbeth,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know, but yeah, thoroughly impressed.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
There you go. That's her full name.
Ramona Flowers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I understood that one.
I did not. What's wrong?
Scott Pilgrim versus Orwell.
Oh, she was in Scott Pilgrim, wasn't she? That's where I remember her from.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
High movie with
Yes.
superheroes.
Yeah.
She was also in Birds of Prey,
Yeah.
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 10 Cloverfield Lane, Final Destination 3, Kate, The Thing, 2011.
She was
She's pretty
in Birds
cool.
of Prey. Was she? Who was she in Birds of Prey?
Give me 1 second.
Um.
Helena
Black-
Bertinelli.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
She was also in Live Free or Die Hard. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh,
A
was
Good Day to
Live Free
Die
Die Hard? Was she? She's Bruce Willis's daughter.
Is she? I don't know. I've only seen the first Die Hard.
She's
That's
McLean.
the one where they-
She's McLean.
Lucy.
Lucy McLean. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a badass woman to be a McLean. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That's the fourth Die Hard? I've only ever seen the fucking first one.
Oh,
Jesus
God,
Christ.
there's like 5 of them.
There's 5 of them?
Good
Oh,
Day,
yeah.
Die Hard.
Yeah, there's Die Hard 2,
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard 3. Or, yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's Die Hard 3. Then there's Live Free or Die Hard. And then there's
Seen that one at the
A
time.
Good Day to Die Harder or something like that. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5. They're good. There's not. No, there's several bad
That's
ones,
pretty
but
dope.
I love watching all of them. So
I've only seen Die Hard because it's a great fucking Christmas
Die
movie.
Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson is
Is it
probably
also
my
a Christmas movie?
Yes.
No, it's not.
That's the
It's probably my
the
favorite.
water fucking puzzle in the fountain.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that
Yes.
scene.
It's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite.
Did you know that she's married to Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Harry-
April 2022.
That lucky son of a bitch.
Harry-
That lucky
Harry
son of a
Kenobi.
Harry Kenobi.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
What a lucky bastard.
Yeah, older man after
All right.
I just happened to click. I was like, relationships. What is this going to tell me? And then it said April 2022. Ewan McGregor.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. So yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss with Ahsoka? I think we've covered quite a bit.
There was one little detail we kind of talked. We kept talking about the space battles and little things. Did you notice that when they're in their little dinky fighters, that she was wearing the same headset that
As Anakin.
And
Oh, I did. I noticed that.
From
so
Revenge
I,
of the
I
Sith.
wonder if
Yeah.
that isn't it not to like Balin as being the Obi-Wan. You know, she wears the Padawan braid. She, they teach things as Jedi do, but they also are like, you choke a bitch out,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if, like, it's not a dark side reflection of the
Obi-Wan and Anakin.
the Obi-Wan
I could see
and
that.
Anakin.
I could see that.
And then, like,
Obi's going to have to
Yeah.
slay Anakin.
Yeah.
yeah,
Balin's going to have to kill his apprentice because she
Balin's
oversteps the
gonna kill-
line
yeah,
like we've talked
Balin's
about
gonna
before.
end up cutting Shin's lip.
We have.
Shin's
Yeah.
limbs.
We have. We talked about that earlier. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. It's kind of mirroring that whole imagery
Yeah.
with that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, so do you think we'll get a volcano? With, I mean, do you
We're
think
going to get the ashes.
do you think we'll get a meme with Balin?
We'll see in the new galaxy.
Simon's higher ground.
We'll see.
the highest ground?
Shin will probably want to try to kill fucking.
No, she'll try to kill Sabine,
She'll try
and
to kill
Balin will stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
Balin will stop her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be the conflict.
That'll.
Prince overthrows Master.
No, yeah, for sure.
Because you can already see Balin getting a liking to Sabine.
Yeah, it'll just I don't even know that it'll be a liking as much as it'll be
No.
his word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like he's just like
Yeah.
I may be a bad guy, but I gave my word, and that's to him that's a lot.
Yeah.
Regardless of good or bad, it's a lot. His word means something. So I could definitely see that being a conflict.
It's a damn shame he died.
Yeah,
He-
I could
know.
definitely see that
he
being
was
a conflict.
He was fucking doing great.
So yeah, but he has been fantastic in that role. So I mean they can't replace him. He's got to die.
Yeah.
He's got to die.
Yeah.
Either that or he's gonna. He's not gonna die in this, and they'll just kill him off screen.
Yeah. You could fatten up George Clooney and might be able to pull it off.
You could. You definitely could.
Jesus.
Located at 430 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport on the bonus level, the second floor of Bonus Pints, is Savini Comics. Savini Comics has all your toys, gaming, and comic needs. We have Dungeons and Dragons. We have Magic the Gathering. We have Pokemon. We have Disney Lorcana. We have Marvel and DC comic books. We have Marvel and DC figures. We have Star Wars. We have wrestling. Come join us at Savini Comics for all your gaming, toys, and comic book needs. Speaking of George Clooney, and this is completely way off topic because this has nothing to do with Star Wars at all. I did watch the first maybe 20 minutes of The Flash today. on HBO Max. It's not HBO, it's just Max. And I can honestly say, without a shadow of a doubt, 100% positive, I will fight a bitch if we would have gotten a movie with Ben Affleck playing Batman the way he played Batman in the beginning of that movie. He would far, by far be the best Batman that ever walked the face of the earth.
He had
Period.
the best look.
Period.
He looks like his Bruce Wayne looks like Kevin Conroy's animated Bruce Wayne. His Batman
he played Batman and fought like Batman and talked like Bruce Wayne. So just it was like he had studied film of the animated series.
Yeah.
And like but if we would have gotten a film of Ben Affleck playing, like if we would have gotten a Ben Affleck Batman film, he would have surpassed everything. And I haven't even gotten to Michael Keaton yet in the Flash movie. So I don't know. I don't know anything about Keaton. I hope. I mean, obviously, I watched Keaton in 1 and 2.
Keaton's more likely to kill it better than he did back in the
well, and here's the thing. Keaton was the perfect Batman. Yeah, through the first movie. But the second movie, I felt like Catwoman and Penguin carried him. And
back on Batman.
Yeah, it was like he was good in the first one, but he kind of like slacked off in the second one, and he still wasn't ever a convincing Bruce Wayne to me. He was more of a convincing Batman than he was Bruce Wayne. But Ben Affleck was in that first 20 minutes was the best Batman that I think I've ever seen. Period. That's what I was thinking when I was watching it. And it's funny how this podcast makes you us make doing discussions and things. Like I watch stuff differently, just like I watch wrestling differently now after I've talked to Al Snow.
Yeah.
But I'm watching that beginning part of the Flash, and one, we could do an entire podcast just on me bitching about Ezra Miller's performance because I thought it was fucking awful.
Whoever decided that he could play a man that runs was let me choose my wording carefully, the biggest fucking moron known to man.
I was not impressed with any of the other aspects of the movie, but man, Ben Affleck, and I say that like the cinematography, the action scenes, how they do some of the things are incredible. I wouldn't have wrote the story the way that they did, but man, Ben Affleck just.
Isn't it also
Have you seen that? Have you seen the Flash movie? Man, just watch the first 20 minutes.
I might.
Just watch the first 20 minutes. Ben Affleck is fucking lights out. Lights out.
Watch just for Batfleck, man.
Just the first 20 minutes. He is lights out.
Is he in any more of it? The rest?
I don't have a clue because I stopped watching after after Batfleck was off. It literally wasn't worth watching. I shut it off because it was not, well, one, I had to go back to work because my lunch hour was over. But it was getting to a point where it was hard for me to watch Ezra Miller. It was hard for me. And then when there was two of them, I was like, holy fuck. Yeah, because then you got Ezra Miller, and then an Ezra Miller, clone that was, playing Ezra Miller to the 10th power. and I was like, "Holy shit, I can't take it."
Yeah.
I couldn't take it.
I don't.
I thought about fast forwarding to but it was time to go back to work, so I shut it off. And if I turn it back on, I'll probably fast forward to like the Michael Keaton parts.
I still don't
Um,
know why they didn't throw that movie in the trash when he went on a fucking cross country run from the feds.
my problem with the Flash since it started, and my problem with DC since they decided to do this whole universe thing, and this is completely off the Star Wars topic for sure, is they had regardless of what anybody thought about the shows, they had two wildly successful CW shows,
Oh, the
Arrow
Flash.
and Flash, and
Yeah.
they had Grant Gustin, and they had Stephen Amell as your Green Arrow and your Flash, and there was no reason to not put them in the movies. There was
Who's
no
the one that
reason at
plays
all to
the
not.
Flash? The guy that plays the
Grant
Flash.
Gustin.
Yeah, he by far out of and I've only seen what 2 or 3 live action Flash. He's by far the best one.
By far the best one. By far the most believable Barry Allen.
Yeah.
He's by far the most believable.
I stopped watching both those shows. I never finished them, but I thoroughly enjoyed both.
Yeah, I mean he is by far the best Barry Allen.
Most believable,
Period.
best one.
Period. Yeah.
Great acting.
And Stephen Amell, was a great Oliver Queen. Was just a great Oliver Queen. So we're completely off topic now.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to are we done with Ahsoka then? Because we kind of went.
Yeah, I was gonna
completely
say.
off topic.
I think I'm pretty good on Ahsoka.
I'm good. I think we covered everything.
All right. One last question.
Okay.
What
All right.
kind of planet do you think they're going to be on? Forest planet, sand planet, moon fucking weirdo planet? I don't know. What kind of planet do you think we're going to get to see?
I think we're gonna see when they first jump, or we're Thrawn and Ezra. I think by now, with how much time has passed, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I bet we're gonna see a whole nother civilization that's super advanced and has their own kind of cities going on.
City planet?
No, I think we're gonna get remote. But
You think they're gonna just be stranded in a forest?
I think it's gonna be like. I think it's gonna be like Tatooine. I think it's gonna be like they're gonna be. Thrawn has gonna have taken over some sort of Mos Eisley type city on some sort of weird Tatooine planet.
We ain't seen a fungi planet, a mushroom planet.
Well, there's no way we're getting a fucking mushroom planet.
I mean, we kind of got the floral mushroom planet with the real little snippet of the Order
We're getting a
66.
Super Mario fucking planet. We're not getting it.
Fuck you, we can get a Super Mario planet.
Not getting a
Man,
Super Mario.
there's been some like when they did the Flash for the Order 66 and Clone Wars. Like
I can't.
There was a wild
we have
mushroom.
not seen that kind
It's
of
a flower.
planet in live
Same thing.
action.
No,
Like
way different.
Oh, same thing.
I don't know. We ain't got a snow planet in a while.
We
Mando
haven't.
had one.
We haven't. I think it'll be.
We did reference Hoth last podcast.
I really think it'll be some sort of like he's taken over some sort of territory, like Mos Eisley on a
I think on
desert planet.
I think with the scale that Thrawn operates and his tactician and brain and logistics.
Brief cargo. Hey, Mando. My name's Frank here. His name's Thrawn.
Yeah, basically. Well, I think he's gonna that's why I say his city places. I think Thrawn works in that kind of brain that they would have gotten stranded at a place with a big city, and that's just by happenstance. And he worked his way in politically in the 10 years it's been, or what? Well, since the Clone War,
20.
30, 20 or 30.
Yeah, I was gonna say it.
I thought
Definitely
it
not
said-
10. I think it's more than that.
Well, because if this is between 9 and 11 ABY, I think from what mine said, like that website I was on, it's like 25, 30.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely could have taken over a whole planet by now. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Hmm.
Unless he gets stuck on one where it's like just him and Ezra, and there's like four other dudes on the other side, but
They all threw spears at him as they walked that way. They're like, "Well, we're fucked."
there's
Yeah.
like four other
Yeah.
people on this planet are Tuscans.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Something tells me it'll just be like
What if they're just chilling in Seattle, like on brunch? They're
right.
like, "What are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get?" And it's just Thrawn and Ezra like having brunch. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's Earth.
You think
Galaxy far, far away.
so do
Oh,
you think
shut the fuck
do you
up.
think they're gonna be together? Or do you think he's still not gonna have found Ezra?
I don't know. So part of me thinks Ezra's dead.
Do you think they landed on a planet and like Ezra like got out of the plane and like went off and like Thrawn never found him?
No, I think
So they're on the same planet, but they don't like Thrawn doesn't know that Ezra's still alive?
I'm gonna say that Ezra, because of his fucking just his dumb luck and his dumb luck. I bet you Thrawn had like temporarily captured him, like once they had crashed. And they might have worked together, and then once they got their bearings, he kind of just took him prisoner, and then Ezra kind of escaped and went off on his own. So they know that they're like both there, but
What if they landed? So what if they landed and like Thrawn didn't know he was there and he got off the plane and then he went off onto some little civilization and
Thrawn definitely knows
and
he's
he
there.
started dusting crops.
Thrawn definitely knows
This ain't
he's
like
there.
dusting crops.
yeah.
Because they were both in the control room when when he called onto the Purgles to grab on.
Okay.
So Thrawn knows he's there. So they'd have to have some kind of explanation of either they're working together or to survive.
They're definitely not working together.
Well, yeah, I doubt that.
I don't think. Maybe, but I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
But I think they would have had to also be stuck in a situation where Thrawn wouldn't have wanted to kill Ezra. Because I think just on pure physical might and tactics alone, I think Thrawn would have just dusted Ezra.
Yeah.
So there had to
I
have been
think Ezra had to have gotten away.
That's what I'm saying is either they would have had to somehow work together, like they would have had to have worked together. He would have had to very quickly, or he came to consciousness first. Like the Purgles fucking warped them into the
Wouldn't that be a
galaxy.
shit if they showed up and like Sabine's like Ezra and they turn around and it's like Grand Admiral Thrawn and Admiral Ezra. Like he's wearing the full Admiral fucking
Jesus
Empire gear.
Christ.
Like, wouldn't that be a shit? It's like they had to work together, so like Ezra's fucking full on Empire. Like
And he comes in, he's like, "Dude, those guys really aren't that wrong."
I mean, they kind of got a point,
I
guy.
bet he's a separatist.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Fucking separatists.
I bet he's a separatist. I bet.
Ezra was always good with animals, which means he would utilize robots instead of laboring.
There you go.
More
That's a good
inclined
point.
to labor,
Yeah.
robot than a living creature. So there you go. He's a separatist.
Yeah, he's a separatist.
Like,
That makes total sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I think we're going to call this one a day. So thank you all for tuning into Pints and Pages. We're going to go ahead and end this episode of Ahsoka halfway through review. So hopefully you tune in next time. But for now, I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
And we are going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.